Last year, Guy Martin's love of going fast bagged him a pair of speed records.
We brought the British motor pacing record on a push bike, 112.94. Quite proud of that, I was quite scared.
Well done. Well done, mate.
Fastest ever sledge ride. I was like 80 on mile an hour. That was interesting.
And now Guy has embarked on 4 more ambitious speed projects.
What could possibly go wrong?
The first of those will be the most physically demanding and mentally draining yet. And this time, it's not just down to a solo effort from Guy.
I was like a challenge with a bit of a twist. I don't want to do the norm. I just thought Tandem would be something a bit different, wouldn't it? You know, Tandem, you just need 2 people.
Guy and a mate will attempt to cycle more than 500 miles in just 24 hours and set a new world record.
A lot of the challenges that we've done, it would have been quite easy to break bones. But this one, if there was ever one to do the damage mentally, this is the one.
This extreme challenge will push Guy to breaking point.
First aider!
The record Guy wants to beat was set by 2 formidable American ultracyclists. Richard Fedrigan could boast 2 podium finishes in the world's toughest solo endurance race, the 3,000-mile race across America. Byron Gremley was one of the best endurance tandem riders of his generation. In 1989, he won every single tandem race he entered. Then, in 1990, they combined forces and pedalled a tandem 505 miles in 24 hours. An incredible world record that no one has ever got close to. Guy's no stranger to endurance racing.
I love 24-hour racing, whether it's motorbikes, push bikes, whatever it is.
He regularly competes in mountain bike endurance events and rides in 24-hour motorbike races. Of course, if Guy's going to set a world record on a tandem bike, a teammate's essential. And Guy's in no doubt as to who that teammate must be. Jason Miles.
The man's a legend in the mountain bike world. Yeah, and a top bloke. And the races that I do, Jason wins.
I'm Jason Miles. I work full-time as an IT project manager. Outside work, I'm a father of 3, husband, and 24-hour solo mountain bike racer.
I actually said to him, this is no word of a lie, I reckon we was about 20 hours into a 24-hour mountain bike race when Jason was lapping me. And I says to him, this is no word of a lie, I've got a job for you, how do you fancy this? And I says about the tandem challenge.
For some reason, inexplicably, I said, okay, yeah, that sounds like a really good idea.
He says, yeah, put my name down. So here he is.
It's going to be good. It's going to be good fun.
To beat the world record, Guy and Jason will need a world-class support team. And luckily, they've got it. Mike Burrows is a legendary bike designer.
My 15 minutes of fame was getting Chris Boardman on a shiny black monocoque bicycle back in '92.
At the Barcelona Olympics, on Mike's revolutionary carbon fibre Lotus bike, Chris Boardman won Britain's first cycling gold medal for 72 years. Nigel Mitchell is one of the world's leading sports nutritionists.
I'm head of nutrition for Team Sky.
He worked with Bradley Wiggins throughout his historic Tour de France and Olympic victories. Mike Tipton is Professor of Human Endurance at Portsmouth University. He is the world expert on surviving extreme environments.
The general rule is that you hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
It's a dream lineup, but the challenges they face are formidable. They need to design and build a revolutionary new tandem, super light, aerodynamic, stable and reliable. And Guy and Jason need to prepare themselves mentally and physically for a punishing challenge.
You're uncomfortable with another bloke prodding you, aren't you?
as they pedal relentlessly for a full 24 hours, not stopping, resting or slowing down for a whole day and a whole night. The project starts 5 months before the record attempt on an airfield near Norwich. Designer Mike Burrows has brought Guy and Jason here to explain why he thinks the way they ride a bike is slow and inefficient.
If you look at these two people on the bicycle and say, well, 90% of their effort is air resistance. 90% of your effort on a bicycle, on the flat,
Is that right?
pushing the air out of the way. 7% is rolling resistance, your tyres, and 3% is total mechanical drag, the chain, all the little bearings, whatever. Now, if you want to go faster, that's the number.
Yeah, so reduce.
90% is the number you want to get down.
Yes, wind resistance.
There's a whole human being almost standing up there, and I have to say you're a terrible shape. And your bicycle, to be honest, is even worse. It's the least aerodynamic thing the world has ever known, a bicycle, because
Even the frontal area is not massive though,
no,
is
the
it?
frontal area isn't, but you get the drag of that bit, and then that bit, and then that bit, and then that bit, and then that bit, and that, and that, and that, and that.
Okay.
So it's
Yeah.
phenomenally bad. It's worse than a barn. This building grid has got better aerodynamics than a bicycle. So we need you to do something possibly quite radical that you probably haven't done before in your cycling career.
Go on.
Well, I think we need to do a bit of a demonstration.
Oh, what's it coming in with?
Don't go away, we'll be back.
Right, go on, let's have a look. What's it coming in on?
Mike returns on a recumbent bicycle, one he's made himself. This super sleek low rider is the culmination of 20 years of designing, refining and building recumbents.
I've seen a recumbent before, but not quite as trick as Mike's. It was a work of art. It was a work of art.
The smaller frontal area of a recumbent can reduce air resistance by as much as 50% compared to a standard bike. But while the science and Mike say a recumbent is faster, Guy isn't convinced.
I just think that's not going to be fast. It's not going to be fast. No, I don't think it was going to be fast.
Maybe having a go will convince him. Joining them to watch in his own four-wheeled recumbent is Miles Kingsbury, who'll work with Mike to design and build the boys' tandem.
We're ready for it then. Any words of wisdom?
Relax. Don't hang on the handlebars to death. Good push on the pedal, but try and do a shimmy. As you pull away, a little bit like a sort of box on his toes. Oh, no, stick. One more go, you'll be there.
Obviously, I'd never ridden one of these things, so once I got on it, and I fell off it immediately, and then got back on it, and then fell off it. I think that by that point, whatever glimmer of confidence I had had pretty much evaporated.
He had a few tumbles. He had a few tumbles.
Once you're going, it's all right. You can carry on going.
He's away. He knows what he's doing. He's away now.
Getting started is a bit smoother for Guy.
Pushed her along, got it going. Yeah, no bother. Steady away, steady away. It was lovely, lovely experience.
It's well quicker than average. I've seen a lot of people go through this process now. That's a very good start.
It's like cycling in widescreen, but you can't see dead ahead because you sort of lay your back. It's a great experience. Really? A bit weird, but loved it.
They may be having fun, but the boys still don't think recumbents are fast.
We both thought, as great as there was, they're not quick.
To try and convince them once and for all, Mike suggests a little test.
Right, 100 metres, part 2 vans up, 100 metres. Got our standard road bikes out. We'll have a couple of runs, set a time on our standard road bikes, and then we'll get on the recumbents, and then we'll just compare the times.
Here we go.
3, 2, 1.
Jason covers the 100 metres in 9.9 seconds, and Guy in 10.4.
So I did a 10.4 on my road bike, and I couldn't have gone any harder.
After a short recovery, they go for it on their recumbents.
But we both knew that there's no way in the world we're going to be quicker on the recumbent because they didn't feel that safe.
Amazingly, they're both faster. Jason by half a second, and Guy by a massive 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, I was wrong. And I was trying harder on my road bike than I was on the recumbent because I didn't feel that confident to give 100% power on the recumbent.
So Mike has convinced the boys that recumbents are the way forward, and they, it appears, have convinced Mike they've got what it takes to win a cycling world record.
As a pair, I think they're going to gel together very well. We've got to sort of think long and hard about the design, but I think we've got a couple of potentially very good engines.
Guy Martin and his mountain biking mate, Jason Miles, want to set a new world record for the furthest distance cycled on a tandem in 24 hours.
Any words of wisdom?
Relax.
Jason's been doing some research into the history of endurance racing, which started in the 1870s on penny farthings.
These lads were cycling on these things for 6 days at a time.
6 day, a 6 day endurance race.
Look at all them.
On the penny farthings.
The only way they could get them to go faster and faster and faster is to make the wheels bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah. Breakneck speed, that's where it came from. I know that. I don't know much. But I do know that's where that came from.
Because if you fell off it, you're going to break it.
You're going to break your neck, yeah.
6 day races grew increasingly popular around the world, drawing massive crowds and offering big prize money. The events placed extreme physical and psychological demands upon the riders. Often their black coffee was laced with increasing doses of cocaine and strychnine to keep them awake and fight off hunger.
Pretty rock and roll.
The most successful endurance racer of the 19th century was a Brit called G.P. Mills, who smashed 19 national records.
George Pilkinson Mills, I think he was called.
All right.
Complete nutter. Used to take cocaine, obviously, quite openly. Used to carry a gun. The reason he carried a gun is that he didn't like dogs chasing him, so he used to shoot them. In one race, he shot 5 dogs.
Did he?
Yeah, in France.
He's not a messer.
No. He did a few records. He did a tandem with his mate. 298.5 miles. Did it in 24 hours.
In the 1800s?
I didn't even know they had tandems in those.
No, I didn't.
As the years passed, endurance tandem pairs went further and further. The current British record holders are a father and son team, Rod and Pete Goodfellow.
501 miles.
501 point something miles.
24 hours of that.
They didn't do it continuously. They had to stop the tandem.
Go on.
Because one of them got diarrhea.
Oh, heck. That'd be messy. Who got diarrhea?
I don't know. I hope it wasn't Rod. Because Pete's...
He's right in the firing line.
How would you know? Well, I've grown a beard.
Unluckily, the Goodfellow's British record fell just 4 miles short of the 505-mile world record set by the Americans Fedrigan and Gremley. If Guy and Jason are going to beat that, they're going to need a tandem. So they're off to High Wycombe to meet Mike and Miles for the big reveal of what their machine will look like.
I can't get my head around it. I just can't.
But have they got a plan, or are we going to discuss a plan?
Well, I hope they've got a plan, because we're driving all the way to bloody High Wycombe.
What's the plan then?
Well, I was just going to surprise you, I think.
I'm gonna surprise. Well, I don't know if I'm going to surprise you or not.
Mike and Miles have worked through various concepts for the tandem bicycle, and surprisingly, their final design isn't actually a bicycle or a conventional tandem.
There we go.
Side by side.
Side by side.
It was revealed that it wasn't really going to be what we thought a tandem was going to be, one behind the other.
And it's going to have 3 wheels.
I must admit, I like the 3-wheel design. Having ridden the 2 wheels.
Yes, yeah.
The curved fairing creates the smoothest flow of air possible across the trike and has been designed to make the frontal area as small as possible. That will reduce aerodynamic drag, but will mean the boys are packed in like sardines.
She's going to be cosy, mate.
It's not the stuff of happy memories, that is it?
When this is over, you're going to be the best of friends, or you're not going to be talking.
So that's the rear. That's the rear. Right.
To see just how cramped the trike will be, they knock up a static test bed.
Time aboard. Bottom mass. Okay.
It's quite clever in that one of us is slightly in front of the other so that our shoulders can kind of overlap, if you like, thus making it narrower. Well, what should I do with this?
That depends on...
I just put that there.
However good the shape is, the smaller we can make it, the better. And we're talking 2 human beings. They're squidged into this, quite small restricted space. It isn't going to be nice.
It's going to be smelling a bit fruity in there.
It's only 24 hours.
That is the way to deal with it. It is only 24 hours.
The next job is to make the Perspex canopy for the trike.
That's your clear, nice clear plastic.
They cook it in Miles's homemade oven.
You made it out of roof insulation panels. Nicked a couple of cooker hobs and a big fan out of a tractor or something.
The Perspex is heated to 100 degrees to make it soft. Air is blown into the airtight space underneath it, and due to the difference in air pressure between that space and the air outside, the sheet gently inflates just like a balloon.
Yeah, it's touching.
That genuinely feels mega, though.
You're going to want a little bit of sort of wiggle room.
The canopy's a good fit, but there's a problem. It's acting like a greenhouse.
It's getting warm now,
Is it?
and we're not putting a great deal of effort now. It did get quite warm straight away.
This is a worry. Under a hot summer sun, the canopy could make the trike dangerously hot.
I know, like, mentally how I can do it, and my legs know they can do it, but it's just, can my body deal with the heat?
Guy and Jason need to learn how they'll cope with the extreme heat the canopy may create. And for that, they're off to the University of Portsmouth's Extreme Environments Lab.
They're going to make it artificially hot.
How are they going to make it artificial?
Well, they're going to put a heater on, I suppose.
Here they'll be looked after by a team of scientists led by Professor Mike Tipton.
Hello, Jason.
Hi, Mike.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Welcome to Portsmouth. Hello, Guy. We work in a whole range of environments, so we can go to high altitude, we can do heat, we can do cold. We've helped in the past Ran Fiennes on some of his expeditions, James Cracknell, Ben Fogle. Come in, know what they're doing, no?
In a room heated to 30 degrees Celsius, Guy and Jason will pedal static bikes linked to avatars on a cycling simulator.
Okay, so what we're going to do is just swallow this pill.
Before they start, Guy and Jason each swallow a thermometer pill.
Swallow it in one go.
The pills transmit their core body temperature at all times. The body's normal temperature is around 37 degrees Celsius. That's likely to rise to around 38 during hard exercise. But if it rises just 1 degree more, to 39, it's getting dangerous.
And if that goes on and your core temperature gets to 42, 43, 44, now you're in a situation of heat stroke, which is a critical clinical condition. I mean, that
Critical in what way?
Well, you can die.
We don't want any of that.
People
Early
die
40s.
about 43, 44 degrees Celsius. The proteins in your body start to denature in the same way as you see an egg change colour when you fry it, and they're then of no use. So you live at 37 degrees. You're only about 7 degrees away from your lethal deep body temperature on increase.
Yeah, no room for error, really. Just that small increase in core body temperature could mean disaster.
External thermometers will record their skin temperature. Their heart rate will be monitored, and they'll be observed on a thermal imaging camera.
3, 2, 1, go.
They've been asked simply to maintain a pace they're both comfortable with in the conditions. But straight away, they start racing each other.
Guy went off like a bullet, and then there was a big gap, and then so I pulled that back, and so it continued.
Just the competitive edge came. Of course it did.
Every time I look at them, they've both got one eye on those avatars, so they are competitive animals. That competition needs to be harnessed into one team.
By competing, they're pushing themselves too hard for the conditions, and both have driven their temperatures dangerously close to 39, and they're still rising. During exercise, 80% of the energy we use is converted to heat within the body. In a hot environment, the only way we can maintain a safe core temperature is to produce sweat, which carries heat away through evaporation. Sweating too much, though, is dangerous. Our bodies can only digest and absorb about 1 litre of water per hour. Sweating a lot more than that makes you dehydrate quickly. Within hours, you lose the ability to function properly. Finally, Mike and his team simulate the sun coming out.
They turned the light on, which was even worse.
Sun's out, guns out.
But I've got my bloody goggles on. 500 watts of light. It was just bloody hot.
Under the extreme heat, Guy starts to drop well behind Jason.
The heart rate was climbing. You know, I think my heart rate got up to 170 at one point. You wouldn't be able to maintain that.
How's it going, Sunbed boy?
I had that for 15 minutes, and then Jason had it for 15 minutes.
And I was dreading this light coming across. Because I knew it was going to get even worse than I already felt, and sure enough, it was dreadful. Hell, Jesus. It was really horrible.
That's unpleasant, isn't it?
But even though their temperatures are still climbing, they continue to race. And now it's getting dangerous. Mike has to stop the test.
Your deep body temperature is at our withdrawal criteria of 39 and still going up.
They've pushed each other too hard.
Absolutely not what we were going to be doing at all, because we were working against each other to a degree, really. That could be very destructive during the actual attempt, so yeah, we need to make sure that doesn't happen.
And overheating isn't their only worry. During the hour-long test, they've sweated buckets.
In total sweat lost, Guy, you lost 1.7 litres, and Jason, you actually lost 2.0 litres.
See it on the floor.
2 litres. You know, that's a lot of water.
So how can they stop themselves overheating and dehydrating during the record attempt?
Their only option is going to be to back off to reduce the amount of heat they produce so that that heat balance equation between producing heat and losing it starts to swing back in their favour.
If it's going to be like that on the day, we just need to learn how to manage that and how to make sure that it doesn't damage the outcome. Because if we carry on and we go too hard, then it will get too hot. We'll definitely get too hot, and then it will grind to a halt.
It's now 2 months before Guy Martin and Jason Miles will attempt to set a new 24-hour endurance record on a tandem. And they're already training hard on recumbents. Today they're at Guy's house for a cookery lesson, and their teacher is a bit of a legend. Nigel Mitchell is head of nutrition for Team Sky and also looked after the British cycling team in 2012. He's helped Britain win 7 Olympic golds and 2 Tour de France. Nigel will control what the boys eat throughout the actual record attempt.
Bloody lovely that. It's bloody lovely that.
But to come up with the perfect diet plan, he needs to do some research.
If you two can start stripping off down to your boxer shorts so you've got clean pants on.
Nigel wants to see how much excess fat the boys have on their bodies.
You said, go on, what's all this about then? What?
Well, it's part of ritual humiliation.
After weighing them, Nigel uses a skin fold caliper to show where they're pocketing fat. The result is given in millimetres. Under 45 millimetres and you're very trim. Over 150 millimetres and you're obese.
So what side do you dress at? At the moment, your side.
Jason coming in at sort of 43 mils that's what I'd expect with an elite athlete. So from a body composition point of view, it's very much there.
Jason has got a really even spread, whereas you pocket round your kidneys round here.
What's that mean?
So in other words, you carry it, you've got love handles.
At least we know. I've got love handles. That's not very good, is it?
We're actually coming out at 79.4 millimetres. Really, we've got about 5 kilos of body fat that we could get off you, which is then going to make the job even easier for when you come to the event.
I'll soon get rid of that, don't you worry. Don't you worry.
Nigel shows Guy and Jason how to cook the perfect athlete's recovery meal. And that consists of salmon, long grain rice and vegetables. During exercise we tear and stretch our muscles. It's actually during the rest period after exercise when we get fitter and stronger as our body repairs itself. Fish is a great recovery food because it's high in omega-3 fats and very rich in protein. Proteins are made up of amino acids, and it's amino acids that are the important building blocks of muscle tissue repair and growth. Nigel's special ingredient, which he adds to the rice, is one of the very best sources of all the essential amino acids we need.
Quinoa? Quinoa. Yeah, we don't know if we can bloody say the bugger, can we? Quinoa.
So we want to put about half a bag of that in. Quinoa, it's a seed, and it's one of the most complete vegetable foods that there is. And it's got all of the amino acids, so it's got protein. It's also got all of the essential fats in it as well. And it's also got carbohydrates, so it's pretty complete, is quinoa.
Stuff. If I planted that, what would it grow?
Quinoa trees. I don't know what it comes out as.
Add homemade pesto for taste, and the perfect recovery meal is ready.
That's a bloody treat, that.
Yeah.
I've probably quadrupled my culinary skills today.
Hey, I've learnt a load. Yeah, we'll keep on with this.
Yeah.
I've got 5 kilos to get rid of. I'll start hacking an arm off or something. Yeah.
As the record attempt gets closer, the boys' training intensifies. And Guy sheds the required 5 kilos through improved diet and exercise. The carbon fibre body of the bike is created by specialist engineers at EPM Technology in Derby. Then Mike Burrows fits it out in his workshop in Norwich. Just 2 weeks before the record attempt, Guy and Jason are about to get their first look at their tailor-made tandem.
Yeah.
It's looking something.
Building the thing.
Looking something.
It's 3.5 metres long, 1 metre wide, and weighs just 35 kilos. Just one of them pedalling will keep the trike moving, because each set of pedals has a separate chain and freewheeling mechanism linked to a cross shaft, which then drives the rear wheel via a third chain. To get anywhere near world record pace though, they both need to be pedalling hard.
Real nice attention to detail in every area. Look brilliant,
Sorry, mate.
It's all right.
I'm more than impressed.
Yeah, I am.
More than impressed.
That's brilliant.
What a work of art.
Time for Guy and Jason's first test drive.
This is the start of it all, isn't it?
And they quickly discover it's noisy in there.
Bloody hell, it's loud.
Everything makes a noise.
There's a word for that.
It's a cacophony.
Is that the word? No, I won't use that word like that. It's just like a
racket.
It's just a racket. Bloody racket. That's it.
A racket that gets a lot worse when you miss a corner.
I wanted them to go steadily, and they didn't. They're nutters, okay? So what they did was go as fast as they bloody well could.
Second bend.
There's no damage done, and they head off again. They steer using levers mounted alongside their seats.
Come here, have a go at steering, you all right? Yeah, I'll do, yeah. Yeah.
Even taking things more carefully, they're averaging 27 miles per hour, well above world record pace.
Doable, isn't it? Yeah.
I was really pleased about how quickly we could make the thing go.
Yeah.
At no point were we
Blowing out of our ass.
No, we weren't.
To try and keep things cooler inside, an air duct's been built into the bike's nose.
As soon as we got over 10 mile an hour, you could feel
Yeah.
the blast through that hole in the front. Mega.
The next issue to resolve is how to keep Guy and Jason supplied with food and drink on the move.
The goal is, we've always said it from the very start, we don't need to stop. We've got to take food on while we're moving.
OK, next time through, we're going to try feeding. First, we tried just standing on the track with the bag on a stick.
That ain't gonna work, is it? That ain't gonna work, is it?
That wasn't happening, that was going to be broken wrist, wasn't it?
That was the first go.
We then tried cycling with somebody in the back of the freight bike.
And that somebody is the lightest member of the production team, Sarah.
More meat on a butcher's pencil than there is on Sarah. Sarah in the back of the cart with a fishing rod, and then onto the end of the fishing rod, like the black bag, with whatever we need.
Let's make him go faster.
With Jason steering close to the supply bike and 74-year-old Mike Burrows pedalling to match the tandem speed, they manage a perfect handover.
Spot on, mate. Got it, yeah, got it.
That worked remarkably well. That will be how we get it on board. To dispose of it, they simply chuck it out the side.
As Guy and Jason are intent on not stopping for anything, they also need to work out the best way to wee on the move.
We have a solution to your problems.
Okay.
See what you make of those.
You boys got them for all just for a joke. There's no way!
No, it's not happening. I'm not lucky, boys. Not happening. No.
And then finally we had sort of a bolt-on device.
Where does that go?
3 guesses.
Over your pocket?
Yeah, and it plugs into this. It will just dribble out behind the wheel.
It was a bit on the big side.
Yeah.
Might have been for horses.
I think it was.
Bloody stick it.
Oh, John Thomas.
Right, anyway, I'm done.
Here.
Yeah. Plug in.
Don't get mixed up with your drinking tubes.
With Guy claiming not to need a wee, Jason's nominated as tester.
Just go, man. Go on. Is it working? Is it working? Look.
Most of it went out of the tube.
What did the rest of it go?
The rest of it went on my shorts.
Oh, sweet! Yes, it's sweet.
Despite a bit of leakage, they agree that the condom catheter is the best solution, and as a very successful practice day ends, confidence is high.
If we can't do what we need to do with everybody, all these people behind us,
Yeah,
and the thing that we've got to do it in, we want a slap, really, don't
we do. Genuinely, we want slap.
Goodwood Motor Racing Circuit in Hampshire. Here, Guy Martin and Jason Miles aim to cycle a tandem further in 24 hours than anyone ever before. The world record they need to beat stands at 505 miles.
Are we getting in yet?
Their trike is now painted silver to reflect as much heat as possible, but the summer sun is no longer their biggest weather worry.
The remnants of Hurricane Bertha are set to arrive on our shores on Sunday.
One of the best summers we've had for ages.
Which it was, yeah.
And then the day we do it, what's on the way?
Hurricane.
Yeah.
Weather warnings have been issued, disruption is possible, and if you are travelling or have outdoor plans this weekend, really do keep a close eye on the forecast.
It was going to be an extra thing to deal with. We could perhaps do without.
Mike Tipton and Nigel Mitchell will look after the boys' well-being and nutrition throughout the 24 hours.
Are you featuring and drinking, lads?
We will do, mate.
Yeah, we'll be
Mike Burrows and Miles Kingsbury will care for the bike.
Mike Miles, it's over to you to start it.
After a full day of prep, at 6:26 p.m, they're ready to go.
It's happening, mate, isn't it? It's happening.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. Good luck.
Right from the off, their pace is blistering.
Get ahead of it. Get ahead of it, because you don't know what's going
Playing
to
catch
happen.
up. We didn't want to be playing catch up.
You don't know whether it's going to be a hurricane, it's going to be hot weather, it's going to be a wheel falls off, or whatever it is. You've got to make hay while the sun shines.
Yeah.
You happy enough with that pace? So if that pace is building us a fair cushion up.
After the first hour, they're averaging 29.99 miles per hour.
Nice.
That's well above record pace. They're happy, but their support team aren't.
Slow down now.
You're working a little bit hard at the moment, you two, so you just need to ease back a little bit.
It'll also save your bums as well. Okay, Nige, thank you.
Said okay, cheers.
Yeah, and a big grin on their faces. They went by.
Basically, they're silly boys with a new toy.
think he's going to do that all the way through.
Nah, if it's about 2 in the morning, he'll get bored.
Despite all the advice from the pits, Guy and Jason keep up their incredible pace. Even as night falls, they don't let up. And after just 3 hours and 25 minutes, they've clocked up their first 100 miles. After 4 hours, Nigel's prepping for the first food transfer.
So we've got the soup here, so the soup's nice and warm, and it's also got lots of good nutrients in. We've got the rice cakes down here, so this is slow-released energy. There's also a little bit of protein in there. There's some pistachio nuts in again, which just gives some carbohydrates and the protein. And then down here we've got the more specialist sports food, so we've got the bars again, giving complex carbohydrates, slow release, and the gels, which give that fast carbohydrate, and we've got some gels with caffeine, which gives both the sugar and the caffeine in it as well.
Along with water bladders, a delivery of this food every 4 hours should be enough to keep them going for the whole record attempt.
Good luck.
And the first delivery goes like clockwork. Refueled, Guy and Jason pedal on into the night.
4 hours, and they're not dropping off. From experience, the third hour is the one that gets you if you're not really ready for this. But they do seem to be acclimatising, and yeah, there's no obvious sign of them dropping off. So maybe it's my machining that'll fail before their bodies do.
As evening turns into the early hours of morning, Guy, Jason and their trike are still going strong.
Go on, lads. Dig in. Up, up.
And just before 4 a.m, they reach a major milestone. They clock up 253 miles. They're halfway to becoming world record holders.
I've got a smile.
However, with every lap they chalk up, the remnants of Hurricane Bertha get closer, and it's not looking good.
I'm pleased they've got those miles under their belt, because everything we're seeing here is telling us that the challenge will get tougher rather than easier. And of course, then they'll have been cycling 6, 12, 18 hours. It's not in the bag, let's put it like that.
Even before Bertha arrives, they have a major problem.
Got a flat.
Oi.
A puncture forces them to stop, something they were desperate to avoid.
It's one of the front ones because we know they're under a lot of stress, so we're getting us worn through. We've got lots of spares.
The team work fast, but the clock's ticking.
The anxiety starts to build, doesn't it? You think, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Yeah, but this, how long we got? Are we all
just a puncture?
No, you're all right. You're okay. You're out.
The stop wastes 20 precious minutes. After 12 hours, they've clocked up 316 miles. But then the wind and rain begins, and they're forced in again.
They can't see where they're going on account of the screen. Water on the outside and condensation on the inside.
It's time to get ready with the drill.
We had to come in and we had to have holes drilled in it.
Save his brakes.
They weren't very big. There were only 2 of them.
He's not going to help the aerodynamics, but we had no choice.
We had no choice.
It's a short stop, but as they pedal on, Guy is clearly in pain.
Big saw down there. Yeah.
Well, Willie was chafing. The inside of my legs and my backside. Chafing, when you want to rub together for 24 hours, you're going to get...
Like nappy rash.
Just the same, innit?
Guy's chafing gets so painful, they're forced to make another costly stop.
Don't matter how embarrassing it is, it's a potential showstopper. And it's definitely not something you can just go, oh, man up.
I'll go change my shot.
You just blather up in chamois cream. But I've open sores at that stage, and putting chamois cream on that is a bit bloody tender.
In dry clothes and with cream applied, they head out again.
Okay.
But that stop wasted another 15 minutes. And now the storm proper arrives.
It wasn't ideal for putting in fast laps on it.
Can't see anything now, at all.
The side winds were like a gorilla hitting.
Yeah. It was like moving us across the course, wasn't it?
We were getting wet.
Sprayed off the back wheel, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it was wet enough as it was, because it was wetting our own wee and our own sweat.
Flight times really start to drop off because of the vision.
They are now averaging just 19 miles per hour.
They're struggling to see, they're struggling to keep it going in the right direction, and they're working as hard as they've worked all day, but are going slower. In fact, they're coming through now, look. We were very elated early on, but now this is what records are all about.
The huge winds now force them in again to get the canopy taped down as it's threatening to blow off. They're now pitting repeatedly. Everything in the bike is soaked and their pace has dropped off a cliff. After 16 hours, the effort of cycling and steering in such horrific conditions is taking a very heavy toll on Guy and Jason. Eventually, they can't go on.
My lower back was, I was in agony. The pain was from where I was actually making contact with the seat.
My Achilles, really sore. Just all the chafing.
If we hadn't stopped, it would have gone wrong.
Might have time for a bit now.
Okay.
We knew that the team of people that were in our pit would be able to look after us and put us right.
Dr. Gemma Milligan from Mike Tipton's team works on their injuries.
Gemma, her massage technique,
Well, like,
best massage I've ever had.
yeah, that was needed.
Can you tell me where?
Look, just the whole back one there, where you got your hands there.
Here?
Yeah, yes.
They're in the pits for almost an hour.
Jason's right now.
As they finally prepare to set off again, they know the record is starting to slip away from them.
I'm wetting myself, I'm peeing myself. Because I've got the thing on me todger, but then a bit of wee comes out. I'm wetting myself. I'm just sat in my own wee.
Do you want to mop it out a bit before you sit down?
Happily though, conditions outside the trike are now improving.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's lovely. That's something there. Feeling energised.
A big effort could still put them back on track. Conversation in the bike stops, and ignoring the pain, they both just keep pedaling.
The environment's right now for finishing the job. The wind's dropped, the sun's out. You just go, right, well, let's just finish the job now.
Incredibly, after 20 hours they're close to 500 miles, and the world record is in sight.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I appreciate the commitment. You're the only man for the job anyway. I'm just so chuffed that you asked me to do it and it turned out the way it did.
At just before 3:30 p.m. on Sunday, August the 10th, after cycling for 20 hours, 53 minutes and 39 seconds, Guy and Jason complete 506 miles, meaning they've pedalled a tandem further than anyone else before.
Who held the record? American?
No, we do.
Brilliant.
How you feeling?
Well done, Guy.
Thank you.
Brilliant
Thanks for all your effort, boys.
Yeah. Thank you for doing it. Can we change?
They've reached their target with 3 hours to spare, and those are 3 hours they don't intend to waste.
We don't want to give somebody who might want to, go and beat our record a 3-hour start, do we?
I think we can get thick end of 50 miles.
I hope so.
They resolve to cycle on, intent on pushing what is now their world record as high as possible.
It's just really nice when a plan that's been in the making for months comes together and brings together such determined and talented people.
Well, I think as far as an effort's concerned, then that's right up there with anything that I've been involved with before.
Guy is famous for being Guy, and his character, as much as his stamina, I'm sure, got him through, and Jason was there matching him.
After the full 24 hours, at 6:26 p.m, they've clocked up a staggering 565 miles.
Thanks for your effort. Brilliant.
Well, you earned
Anybody out there, just try doing anything for 24 hours. I don't even care if it's sitting down. You'll struggle doing it. Now imagine doing that while cycling at around about 23, 24 miles an hour, and it'll just give you a handle on what's been achieved today.
If there was ever a time or a place to fall out, it was in there, and we never had a problem.
I'm just dead proud of it. I'm really proud of it. Proud of myself, proud of Guy. That's pretty much it.
I'm proud of you.
Pretty much it.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Set out to do that. Tick the box. Move on to the next job. Just, yeah, job satisfaction. Just not in any, just, yeah, spot on. Job done.
Couldn't have wished for more. We've had a fabulous day. Amazing record. That's going to hang on the wall for quite a while, I would think.
Next week, Guy takes on a very personal challenge.
That genuinely scares me.
To build a motorbike and race it in the world's toughest hill climb, up the iconic Pikes Peak in Colorado.
You can get more from Guy whenever you fancy in bite-sized form. Catch him in his Passion for Life, exclusive to Shorts on 4OD. Hitting the ground running next tonight, it's back to Islamabad in Homeland.